Oh, beautiful, far spacious skies, far amber waves of grain.
Yes, indeed, Reese Davis. Welcome to the Mid-South, number 23 Navy and Kansas State on a picture-perfect afternoon for college football. Beale Street's going to be rocking later tonight for New Year's Eve. The final day of the decade has arrived, and we've got a good one headed your way right now. Welcome to the AutoZone Liberty Bowl as part of Capital One Bowl Mania. What a time to be alive, and what a game this should be. Two of the great turnaround stories in college football in 2019 with Kelly Stopper, Roy Philpott. Lauren Sisler joins us on the sidelines in just 1 minute. You talk about Navy, Kelly, a team that is 7.5 wins better than it was a year ago. That leads the country. In Kansas State, didn't make postseason play last season. They have this year under a first-year head coach.
You know what's interesting as we talk about this game is they describe one another really the same way. They're tough, hard-nosed, and well-coached, and I agree with all three of those points. And they've turned it around by emphasizing the same things. They value the football. They're very good in situational football, third down, red zone, on both sides of the ball. And then time of possession matters to both of these teams. We'll see how it plays out today.
Well, for Navy, time of possession starts at quarterback with Malcolm Perry. And this guy has set so many records this season in so many different ways. He's a native of Tennessee. He's going to have about 50 family members and friends on hand here today. Both of his parents served in the Army, so he's got the kind of background that makes sense at the academy. And, oh, by the way, too, he's the Offensive Player of the Year this season in the American Athletic Conference. And just go back to earlier this month, 17 days ago, Kelly, he was so solid against Army.
Malcolm Perry is an electric combination of size, speed, and quickness. His commitment to the quarterback position is where everything changed at the end of last year. He's bought into the position, and that's where the evolution began, moving from just a playmaker to actually being a consummate quarterback, and that's what this team needed. And my, oh my, was he amazing throughout this entire season.
304 yards in the victory against the Black Knights that erased a 3-game losing streak. You see the other numbers. History could be made today. Only needs a $117 on the ground to set the FBS single-season record in terms of rushing yards by a quarterback. Well, it doesn't just end with Malcolm Perry. We flipped the script. Kansas State's Skylar Thompson, a native of Missouri, was the Gatorade Player of the Year back in 2015 in that state. And in his career in the Little Apple, Kelly, 4,000 passing yards, 1,000 rushing yards so far. Elite company in terms of K-State quarterbacks. And he's a guy that can beat you in so many different ways this season.
Skylar Thompson is truly a dual-threat quarterback, but it was the Oklahoma game that really was the turning point, maybe for this program, and certainly answered a lot of questions for Skylar Thompson. He came into this game wondering if he could do it in a big game, if his team could do it in a big game, and it became what he told us was the best football moment of his life. And how sweet was it at the end in the victory formation to win a game like that? It's been a rocky road. That young man has had a really amazing season.
Amazing indeed. We mentioned elite company. How about the likes of Michael Bishop, L. Roberson, Colin Klein? Skylar Thompson's name right there amongst some of the great quarterbacks in the history of the Big 12. Well, Skylar Thompson's story is one that is rich with emotion. And for more on that, we check in with Lauren Sisler.
Yeah, Roy, football has been such a catalyst for Skylar Thompson. Despite loss and tragedy earlier in his life, when he was just 6 years old, his mother lost her battle with stage 4 breast cancer. And then 7 months earlier, his grandfather, John, passed away from pancreatic cancer. Before his mother's passing, his mother would often tell him to set high goals, chase after them, and never give up. These words have always stuck with Skylar, and now when he puts on the jersey with Thompson scrolled across the back, he hopes that everyone will see his passion for the game and that he plays not only for himself, but for the people that he loves the most.
An emotional conversation we had with K-State starting quarterback yesterday, Lauren. Thank you very much. And don't think that the presence of his mother and his grandfather is not with him here today. Wildcats led by first-year head man Chris Kleiman. Won 4 national championships in 5 seasons at North Dakota State before arriving into Little Apple, and you see those 8 wins. Only Ryan Day better in terms of Power 5 head coaches in their first year this season. And for Navy, Ken Niumatalolo, year number 12, the 3-time American Athletic Conference Coach of the Year. Kelly, he was emotional speaking with us yesterday for reasons we'll get into later in our broadcast, but always fun catching up with Coach Ken. What a job he has done in 2019 to turn around the fortunes of the Naval Academy. Midshipmen won the coin toss and have elected to defer. K-State set to receive here at the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. Wacky bowl season already well underway. We saw Kentucky complete the comeback against Virginia Tech just moments ago in the Belk Bowl in Charlotte. And we believe this game's going to be quite competitive as well. Bijan Nichols will kick things off for the midshipmen. Youngblood, Phillip Brooks back deep to receive. Joshua Youngblood, the Big 12 Special Teams Player of the Season this year. Great crowd on hand. We are underway in Memphis. And here's Phillip Brooks from the 9 with a crease and spun down at the 26. Skylar Thompson, starting quarterback, native of Missouri. Just a junior, still has a lot of great football ahead in his career. And he's got some targets to throw to as Kansas State now gains health at the wide receiver position.
And what a difference a fresh start makes. With Chris Kleiman coming in, one of the first meetings was to give Skylar Thompson the understanding that this is your football team and take it and run with it. And I'll never take those keys to the car back. And Skylar Thompson has done just that this season.
Gilbert in the backfield, flanking Thompson on first down. The Wildcats will throw it, and a pass is incomplete. So Nick Lenners, the fullback, the intended target. It'll be 2nd and 10 as we take a look at our impact players.
For Kansas State, you talked about it. Josh Youngblood is electric, and I think the order of this day, we know how he can impact special teams, but also get him involved in the offense. And Diego Fuga is a very good linebacker that is going to have to play well in space here today.
Jordan Brown motions out on 2nd and long, inside give. Straight ahead goes Gilbert. It'll be 3rd down and short. After a gain of 8 yards, Fagot made the stop right on cue.
And Fagot is that guy in the middle of the new defensive scheme this year that is going to have to play well. And Skylar Thompson is a true dual threat guy we haven't seen a lot of this year in terms of a dual threat guy, but he's going to be a guy that Fagot that has to make plays out in space a lot of times. But remember, K-State is about running the ball downhill first.
Two teams that have been pretty good on 3rd down this season. And I'm not quite sure, but I think I just saw a huddle on the field just moments ago. We haven't seen a lot of that in 2019. Nifty run by Thompson. That'll move the chains. The drive stays alive after a gain of 4. Fagot made the stop.
Yeah, one of the staples for Kansas State, and Brian Newberry, the new defensive coordinator for Navy, told us this, that they live in 3rd and short. And that sounds familiar because that's Navy's offensive wheelhouse as well.
From the 39, Mason Barta in motion. We've seen huddles. We've seen fullbacks already in this one. Gilbert with a crease and another nice pickup. That's a 1st down into plus territory. The Ball State transfer, James Gilbert. They told us yesterday he runs violent. He did so right there.
And this is what a violent, efficient run looks like. And Kansas State wants to be downhill. They're balanced offensively, but it's a new type of balance. Courtney Messingham, the offensive coordinator, said balance to him is balance between shotgun formation and under the center. That's a new definition of balance offensively.
8 in the box for Navy. There goes Gilbert. Makes one man miss and another. Back into Navy territory, stopped at the 43-yard line by Cameron Kinley after a gain of 9.
And this is what's referred to as an ace formation. Double tight ends, single back, 2 wide receivers, balanced formation. You force the defense to also be balanced, and then Skylar Thompson manages the play at the line of scrimmage. It's check with me based on how the defense defends that balanced formation, and then Thompson gets him in the right play.
Harry Trotter checks in for the first time, number 2 in white for Kansas State. On 2nd down and 6, they'll fake it to Trotter. On the wheel route, wide open was Brown, but the pass is incomplete.
Skylar Thompson missed it there. Brown was the near back in a 2-back set, leaking out of the backfield and essentially just going vertical just inside the numbers, and Skylar Thompson just needs to set his feet and drop the ball into Brown's lap. That was a big missed opportunity early in this one.
3rd and 6. Handoff, Trotter, right side. He'll be stopped well short. Brought down near the 41-yard line. Fago and Carruthers combined to make the hit, and let's see what Chris Kleiman elects to do here.
Yeah, just getting to the plus 40-yard line, and you wonder that Chris Kleiman may go ahead and go for it. They would be punting into a really stiff breeze, moving from our right to left. And that's a pretty good time in this place on the field to go ahead and roll the dice early.
So on 4th and a short 5, what do you call here, Kelly?
You try to get Thompson, I think, out on the edge. And you see 4 wide receivers spread the field with a dual threat quarterback.
Feels like a draw. And instead, Thompson's going to be flushed. Surveys, flings it deep. Wide open and incomplete. The pass was dropped by Phillip Brooks, and that should have been 6.
Skylar Thompson was getting away from a little bit of pressure, moving to his right, and the second missed opportunity. We saw Skylar Thompson miss the back once, and now Phillip Brooks simply should have corralled this one and walked into the end zone for a big play early for Kansas State.
Back in Memphis, you're looking one of the most explosive players in college football this season. He's got a chance to break records previously set by names like Jordan Lynch, Lamar Jackson. 1,800 plus rush yards already this season for the Offensive Player of the Year in the American Conference, Malcolm Perry. And he's going to take off. It's what he does best, tripped up from behind after a short gain. Elijah Sullivan got there first, stopped him to just 3 yards.
Over 40% of called drop back passes or play action passes turn into Malcolm Perry runs, and we can see it there. And I think it's a combination of things. First of all, Malcolm Perry is an electric runner with the football, but he also is careful with the football, and so he doesn't want to throw the ball into harm's way.
Jamel Carruthers joins him in the backfield. On 2nd down, Carruthers gets the handoff, driven backwards after a gain of 2. Daquan Patton got there first. So we take a look at our impact players, Kelly.
Jamal Carruthers is one of those impact players. More speed at the fullback position, and Wyatt Hubert is a disruptive guy off the edge, and he's going to have a huge impact today. And Elijah Sullivan maybe will have a career day in tackles in his middle linebacker position.
Navy, one of the most efficient teams in the country on 3rd down. Kansas State, the best in the nation on 3rd down defense. Here's the pitch. Close to the line again. It'll come down to the spot, and that should be enough to move the chains. A gain of 5. The Navy drive stays alive.
Kansas State defensive coordinator Scotty Hazelton told us that he wants this to become a pitch game, and this is the true triple option. Dive inside, quarterback Perry gets to the edge, and then is it a pitch or is it a keep? The more the ball goes to the edge in a pitch situation, Kansas State is very, very comfortable with that type of process.
Keone Cordell, Makekau picks up 5 as the Navy drive continues. Now in plus territory from the 48. Inside give, running the triple option, no gain. Wyatt Hubert, first team, all Big 12 performer with a tackle.
So what we'll show today is, we see right there, Navy is just off the hook good at rushing the football, and Kansas State is very good at defending the run game. So good on good in that situation, but it isn't always a triple option for Navy. A lot of times with Malcolm Perry, it's a two-way option. High probability of the quarterback Perry keeping the ball in his hands.
Carruthers in the backfield. Three wide receiver formation for Navy. And on second down, Perry's going to be flush. Finds a crease. Makes something out of nothing. It'll be third and manageable. Jordan Mitty with a tackle after a gain of 5.
So the pass game for Navy is, first of all, few and far between. But think of this. You have the ultimate play call. You have the possibility of one receiver open, and Malcolm Perry can find that open receiver. But you also have a defense that responds into pass coverage and then has to come out of that and try to corral one of the most electric runners with the football after that, and that's Malcolm Perry.
Perry will take to the air on third down, and the pass will be reeled in. Michael Cooper will move the chains, and the Navy drive stays alive. Lance Robinson in coverage.
And it's almost always going to be some form of man-to-man coverage on the back end. Just a simple hook route by Michael Cooper, thrown a little outside, but Cooper keeps his eyes on it and snatches it well.
Navy's been more efficient in the passing game this year with Perry, and also the addition of Billy Ray Stutzman from Hawaii. Kelly has basically served as the passing game coordinator for the midshipmen this season.
Bring a little of that run and shoot that Hawaii is running currently.
Second possession of the game. We're already halfway through the first. Perry stays alive, makes a man miss, and there it goes. Malcolm Perry. First down and goal for Navy.
Kansas State has this defended perfectly, outside of the fact that you have to try to tackle Malcolm Perry in space. It isn't a matter of just drawing it up on a grease board and having a hat on a hat. You have to get number 10 to the ground. He's electric both with his feet, Roy, and also he's faster than most people on the field.
Back to his native state here in Tennessee. Grew up just north of Nashville. Many relatives live in this area. Carruthers is quickly bottled up. Kelly, he's got a chance, too, to play at the next level. And his commitment to our nation's armed forces could be delayed as a result of that, potentially.
Yeah, that rule was just changed just a few months ago, actually, allowing the active duty part of Malcolm Perry to start later if he has a chance to play in the NFL.
Ninth play of the drive. Perry's run went for 25 after Carruthers was stuffed at the line. It'll be third and goal from the 8. Daniel Green led the charge that time.
With what Navy likes to do offensively, they have the ultimate kind of drive, finish, and scheme. They're third in the country in the red zone. They score touchdowns 83% of the time. I mean, that's beyond elite, but it's because you have your best playmaker with the ball in his hands, and you have multiple options on every play.
Third down and goal coming up in a scoreless contest here at the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. Carruthers in the backfield, and he'll get the pitch. Can he get to the edge? Tripped up, driven down at the 5. It'll be fourth and goal from the 4. Denzel Goolsby got there first, Kelly.
And the thing to notice is how quickly Kansas State was able to get the ball out of Malcolm Perry's hands, and that's going to be the order of the day from now all the way through the last second. Get the ball to the edge. It was more of a speed load option, simply go and isolate the in-man on the line of scrimmage, and Perry makes the decision to pitch it, and the pitch receiver actually has a lead blocker on that play as well. Well defended by Kansas State.
Bijan Nichols on for a 21-yard field goal attempt. And the chip shot on the way from the left hash. right across the line and split the pipes. Navy draws first blood here at the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. 3-0 our score, 4:26 to go here in the first. Quick start for Navy, 3-0 our score, 4:26 to go here in the first quarter of the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. Kelly Stauffer, Roy Philpott, Lauren Sisler on hand. They'll pooch the kickoff. And a fair catch made at the 29. Wildcats take over. The handoff right side nets a couple. As Cameron Kinley made the stop after a short gain. So Jordan Brown picks up 2 yards. And let's see what Kansas State can do on its second possession.
And Kansas State certainly is built around the concept of kind of funneling to third and manageable, converting and moving the chains. We talked about it, Roy, at the top, that time of possession matters greatly to both of these teams here today.
A lot of people wondered, would Chris Kleiman's FCS brand of championship football work in the Big 12? The answer was a resounding yes, as Knowles goes around the left side for a short gain.
I think Chris Kleiman was exactly the head coach following Bill Snyder that Kansas State needed. I think the things that Chris Kleiman did at North Dakota State and was obviously incredibly successful translate really well to the way that you have to play football in Manhattan, Kansas.
Dalton Schoen in motion. That's his favorite target on third down. Pocket collapses. Thompson will try to buy some time, and he cannot. Sacked back at the 29-yard line. Jackson Perkins got there.
This is Navy's new defensive scheme in a nutshell. There's a lot of pre-snap movement defensively by Navy. They don't want the offense to be able to take a good picture before the snap, and then there's a lot of post-snap movement as well. And Kansas State, with that veteran offensive line, couldn't figure it out, and in the end, Skylar Thompson was swallowed up.
Second team all Big 12 punter Devin Anktel will send it away from his own 19. Fair catch made by Wynn at the 24. And Navy will take over right there. Yeah, just go back to that victory against Army. And Perry, 304 rushing yards by himself, bottled up here after a gain of 1. And he told us after that game, as they lined up in victory formation, he actually had tears in his eyes. It messed up the cadence as they tried to close that contest out. But he was emotional. His teammates were emotional. Ken Niumatalolo was as well after a resounding victory against the Black Knights, 31-7. 15 in the books here at the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. Second quarter coming up. Malcolm Perry has a chance to smash a record set by Jordan Lynch and join Lamar Jackson as one of the top rushing quarterbacks in college football history. 1,500 on the ground, 20 rushing touchdowns in a single campaign.
How impressive is that?
You kidding me?
Man, once that young man committed to the position, it's been absolutely lights out.
On 2nd and 14, he'll throw it here. And flings that pass incomplete. Late flag on the field. We'll check the penalty. Heavy pressure from Daquan Patton that time at his will linebacker spot for K-State.
And this appears to be pass interference.
Pass interference. Offense. Number 28. 15-yard penalty. Replay second down.
When you get Navy behind the sticks and down in distance, 2nd and 14, the last thing that you want to do as a Kansas State defense is bail them out with a pass interference. That wasn't accurately thrown. The coverage was great. A little panic at the end led to that pass interference call.
Makekau, as the penalty was assessed on him.
On Navy. I thought that the Kansas State defender arrived a little bit early. 2nd and 29. The triple option doesn't exactly have an answer for this unless your quarterback is Malcolm Perry.
Let's see if the magician can go back to work. He'll pitch it. Makekau bottled up. Elijah Sullivan led the charge for the Wildcats.
that's Kansas State defense front and center. They don't really have any alpha dogs on that defense. It's really distribution and production across the board. That defensive line, they all have somewhere in the high 20s in tackles, and they all have pressure numbers. They have 4 defenders in the back 7 that have 50 tackles or more. And that was who Chris Klieman was at North Dakota State. It was a group effort defensively, game in and game out.
And you saw Scotty Hazelton, defensive play caller for the Wildcats. Very good year in his first campaign in Manhattan. Trey Deshawn, Reggie Walker stopped Navy dead in its tracks. Right now, the midshipman, Kelly, just 59 yards on the ground so far, yet leading by 3.
And that really is the template to get Navy's offense off the field, is get them behind the chains, make them count on the pass game, and typically that doesn't end real well.
This game's had an old school throwback feel to it so far. Very physical at the line of scrimmage. Owen White checks in. 43 yards per punt this season. He'll turn it over beautifully here. Driving Brooks back from his 34, waiting on the convoy. There he goes, Brooks. Far side, can he get to the end zone? Yes, he can. Touchdown, Wildcats. The 66-yard dash to Pater. And K-State with its first lead.
Great Kansas State defense leads to a backed up punt that leads to a huge special teams play by Kansas State. Phillip Brooks takes it to the house this particular time, but whether it's Josh Youngblood or Malik Knowles, another staple in the way Chris Klieman intends to build this program in Manhattan.
Blake Lynch's extra point is good. And our new score with 13-13 to go in the first half. Kansas State grabbing its first lead at 7-3, and Phillip Brooks with the honors for the Big 12 and the Wildcats from Manhattan. Fast-moving game here at the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. 7-3 our score. The Wildcats scoring their first touchdown of the afternoon, courtesy of a punt return by Phillip Brooks just moments ago. And look at those numbers, 53 punt and kickoff returns for touchdowns going back 14 seasons.
You know, under Bill Snyder, it was almost the Beamer Ball Midwest in a sense, and a lot of special team plays have turned games for Kansas State.
Nick McClellan wearing number 4 this afternoon will kick it off. The fair catch made at the 2. Quick toss, Michael Cooper, second reception. How to move the chains ahead of the 41-yard line. That's a gain of 11.
And that was the area of the game. Once Malcolm Perry committed to that quarterback position after last season, he worked incessantly on the pass game. And you can see that he's much more comfortable with it, but make no bones about it, it's not a staple of who Navy wants to be.
4-man front for the Wildcats on 1st and 10. Out of the gun, Perry straight drop back, and that pass batted down.
Well, and that's the other part of it. Perry in the pocket is 5'9", and there aren't a lot of throwing lanes for 5'9" quarterbacks in the pocket. Perry wants to get rid of the ball quickly, and then the defensive end, and Duke just gets up and bats that ball down.
Freshman from Atlanta, Khalid Duke.
Did I just see Navy throw the ball 3 times in a row?
I mean, they're operating straight gun, straight drop back. Perry rips it out. And sandwiched between 3 different K-State defenders. McPherson and Goolsby made sure stopped him for a short gain of 3.
And you said it, sandwich. Kansas State defensively, the game plan is to box Perry in and then have pressure that kind of dents that line of scrimmage, and that's a really good example of it. Perry is so electric. Out on the edge in space, he makes defenders look foolish. Not that time defensively for Kansas State.
4-receiver formation. There goes Perry. Can he get to the line to gain? He cannot. Stopped at midfield by Sullivan. It'll be 4th and 1 from the 50. And tell me, what do you do here if you're Ken Niumatalolo?
Without hesitation, Ken Niumatalolo goes for it. They go for it on 4th down anyway. I mean, and a lot of times the 3rd down call is affected by the fact that Niumatalolo has already told Ivan Jasper's offensive coordinator, this is 2-down territory, and we're seeing it right here. First of all, defensively, Kansas State has to alert hard count.
All 11 players in the box. Perry, left side, has a first down and a lot more. There he goes. Malcolm Perry's going to be tripped up. Ball comes out late, stopped at the 26 by Walter Neal. And that was a shoestring away from being a touchdown.
Well, Navy lives in short down yardage situations, and that's what we see here. The offensive line's used to it, but the defenders, all of those extra hats to the line of scrimmage, and then there's nothing beyond that. And Perry almost took that one to the end zone.
He tiptoed through the line of scrimmage, through all of that carnage, and then found a way to almost score a touchdown. Late pitch here, Miles Fells. Can't get to the edge, and down he goes. Sullivan, again, who's been extremely active in this first half.
And we talked about it. Elijah Solomon is one of those impact players. The middle linebacker playing the triple option sometimes has upwards of 20 tackles. You have to skate inside fullback to outside to the pitch. You stay a half a hole behind, but when the pitch shows up outside, that middle linebacker has to arrive as well.
I love it when you drop new knowledge and new terminology on me. Half a hole behind.
Oh, yeah, there you go. You can use that sometime today.
Breaking open towards the end zone and reeled in for the touchdown. Navy back out in front. Makekau brings in the touchdown on a beautiful pass from Perry.
It's easy for the defense to lose running backs in the pass game because of all of the bells and whistles on the back end. Makekau is going to just release right up the field, and that's the part of the game that Malcolm Perry is so much better at, is reading defenses, but also throwing the appropriate pass that we saw right there.
Nichols on for the extra point. Flag on the field, and likely offsides coming against K-State. So the junior slot back, Keone Cordell Makekau, scores the first touchdown of this season. The junior from Hawaii is Malcolm Perry. Drops a dime like it's his job. He's been doing it all season long for the academy. Now the Navy players and coaches visiting St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital here in Memphis, as the midshipmen met with patients in their room, signed autographs, posed for photos with all of those wonderful children. Back here at the AutoZone Liberty Bowls, Capital One Bowl Mania rolls along, and if that doesn't get you going this holiday season, I don't know what will. Naval Academy bursting that 75-yard scoring drive in 8 plays, and guess what? They're throwing the pill around today, right? I mean, this has been fun to watch.
Yeah, 8 plays, 4 runs, but also 4 passes.
Ask Malcolm Perry, what would you tell yourself 3 years ago after you burst on the scene, the Armed Forces Bowl against Louisiana Tech, with a touchdown on your only touch of the game? He said, you know what I tell myself? Take ownership at the quarterback position and become selfless earlier in my career. Here's Youngblood, the Big 12 Special Teams Player of the Year. Sit down after a short return. 6-man front, and the first completion now for Skylar Thompson, as he's 1 for 4, and that'll be a gain of 6 yards on first down, and the first grab for Dalton Schoen.
And we anticipated this type of game, kind of back and forth, violent run game, electric runs by Malcolm Perry. We didn't anticipate as much of the pass game by Navy, but now you would think that you would see K-State settling into their offensive game plan a little bit more right now.
Gilbert in the backfield, play action on 2nd and short. That'll move the sticks. First down for Kansas State. Close to midfield as the drive continues. Springer the stop after a gain of 14 yards. Malik Knowles makes his 23rd catch of the season.
And an important thing that Skylar Thompson pointed out yesterday when we met with him is in the 2 losses that Navy has against Memphis and Notre Dame, the offense had success through the air. And I think that's what we're going to see right now. Kansas State probing the pass game just a little bit more than they have up to this point.
Navy showing different looks right before the snap. As advertised, Thompson delivers on target. That's a gain of 11, and now, they'll say that's a grab. As Knowles makes his second reception, Carruthers applied the pressure.
This is where Skylar Thompson, I think, has improved so much, Roy. The subtle movement, the pocket manipulation to get the football off. There's pressure by Navy. That's now Navy's middle name defensively. And then he gets whacked in the sternum, does Thompson, but gets the ball off. That's all really, really good stuff.
So Thompson started the game 0 for 3. He's completed his last 3 passing attempts. A lot of fun here at the Liberty Bowl as well. 1st and 10 from the 39 for Kansas State. Kelly Stauffer, Lauren Sisler, Roy Philpott. Wildcats keep it on the ground, and a gain of 3 on 1st down. Fago with the tackle. And Skylar Thompson, what a comeback story this has been. At least you look at the numbers, and the metrics all suggest he's had a great year, but so much to unpack with the junior signal caller from Independence, Missouri.
And it really all started with the fresh start that Skylar Thompson got when Chris Kleiman took the job. They have a prior relationship. Kleiman actually recruited Thompson out of high school to North Dakota State, and it ended up that they're together again, and it makes a difference in a quarterback's life when you're told that you have the keys to the offense.
Wright checks in at running back for the first time. Knowles makes his 3rd reception on this possession. And that'll move the chains as we check in once again with Lauren.
Yeah, and Kelly, when you talk about he was given the keys, so to speak, he said it really changed his entire outlook. He told us that because Coach Kleiman believed in him, he was able to focus on becoming a better leader for this football team and not always having to look over his shoulder and wonder if he's going to lose his starting job. It's been a tremendous confidence boost for him and for the entire team, knowing he's their guy under center.
And that's the right word, confidence. You need that as a quarterback, and this coaching staff put their trust in Skylar Thompson.
For the 1st down, here's Gilbert. And no running lane there. He is sent backwards. He's going to lose half a yard.
Remember how this drive started. Skylar Thompson throwing the football, and I think that's exactly what Kansas State has to continue to do. And furthermore, get Skylar Thompson out on the edge. Right now, it's tough sledding up inside to some extent, even though that's who Kansas State is offensively.
11th play of the drive upcoming. Nice air Crow Marty playing from that Raider position in the Navy defense. In attack mode in this first half. He bottled up Gilbert that last play. Jordan Brown, the new running back for the Wildcats. Clean pocket for Thompson. Has all day. And stepped out of bounds, I believe, before releasing the pass. It'll be 3rd and long.
And Navy doing a great job in coverage. Navy's new defensive identity is a lot of pre-snap movement. Get pressure on the football. Don't allow the quarterback to take a quality picture before the snap. But coverage really wasn't in that description, but that was really good coverage by Navy that time.
Officially ruled an incomplete pass, Kelly, although that second look appeared as if he threw it from out of bounds. 3rd and 13. Approaching 2.5 to play here at the Liberty Bowl. An exciting first half. Brown, the running back. Here comes pressure. Thompson escapes, throws it into the turf. And he was lucky he wasn't sacked by Alon Nash near the 30-yard line.
Head coach Ken Niumatalolo went looking for something new defensively in the offseason, and this is it. Brian Newberry brings in a scheme that really is creating a niche at the Naval Academy. It's a lot of bells and whistles before the snap, creating indecision in the blocking scheme, whether it's run or pass protection. That's the result of it we just saw in that play.
39-yard field goal attempt by Blake Lynch is good. Entertaining first half of the books here in Memphis at the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. Chris Kleiman pleased with his club's start. We're tied at 10. Navy and Kansas State will send you to Reese Davis for the Mercedes-Benz halftime report. Coming up right after these messages. And welcome back to the AutoZone Liberty Bowl as part of Capital One Bowl Mania. Scotty McCreery completing his halftime act just moments ago. And a fun first half already in the books here in the heart of Memphis. Tied at 10 between number 23 Navy, and you look at this second half, it is going to be a lot of fun. Kansas State in position, Navy in position, a throwback old school kind of slugfest game. It's been a little different. It's been a lot of fun so far. Yeah,
it's been different because the defenses have won the day, to be quite honest. I think Kansas State corralled Malcolm Perry really well. I think Kansas State, this to me is going to be the difference in the second half. Kansas State offensively has to let it loose a little bit. Allow Skylar Thompson to throw the football. They have an advantage. Wide receivers on Navy's secondary.
Kelly Stoffer, Roy Philpott, Lauren Sisler here with you. AutoZone Liberty Bowl. Navy set to receive our second half kickoff. And the fair catch made just inside the 10 as we check in with Lauren for the first time.
Yeah, talking to Coach Kleiman going into the locker room, he says he really likes the way the defense is executing. They really understand the speed of the game, but on the offensive side of the football, not executing as well as he would like them to. He says they've really got to shore up their protection, create some explosive plays, create some momentum here in the second half.
Well, what Lauren just talked about, the speed of the game, what Coach Kleiman referenced, is so important. You can't really anticipate the execution that Navy does in that triple option, and Kansas State adjusted to it from the get-go in this game.
Navy's got a chance to win 11 games this season. That would tie a single-season record with a victory today. On the option ahead to the 30, it'll make it 2nd and 5 as Mitty stops the ball carrier.
And I would think out of Navy offensively, we're going to see more of the true triple option. I think Kansas State has proven that they can corral Malcolm Perry in more of the two-way option game, which is quarterback-centric. More triple option out of Navy in the second half.
Fantastic way to end the college football decade right here on ESPN. Perry escapes. He's got a first down and a lot more. Into plus territory. Navy setting up shop on its opening possession as Sullivan ushered him out of bounds.
4.5 out of 10 called passes turn into this type of Malcolm Perry outside the design of the concept play, where one of the most electric quarterbacks in the country, actually college football players in the country, gets outside and plays like that. And you can see right there, the 21st game, 100 yards, second most in school history.
29 on that last carry. From the 46. And a gain of 4 as Jamel Carruthers is stopped by Sullivan, who now has 9 tackles today.
And we have to keep in mind that Jamel Carruthers can make Navy's offense different. Much more speed at that battering ram fullback type of position, and we haven't seen a lot of him. Kansas State knows the triple option starts with establishing the fullback and then moving to the edges. So Kansas State did a great job of corralling Carruthers in that first game.
And Carruthers actually has been clocked faster than Malcolm Perry. Right side, that's a first down, and history is made as Malcolm Perry moves the chains. He was tackled by Denzel Goolsby. But a new single-season rushing record has been established as Malcolm Perry already over 100 yards in this game today. Passing Jordan Lynch, all-time for quarterbacks on the ground in a single season, Kelly.
It's always a pleasure when you get to watch history being made, and what an electric runner with the football. Quickness and speed, that's a tough combination to find in one human being.
Nelson Smith in the backfield. He'll get the handoff straight ahead through the A-gap. Back to the line of scrimmage and not much more. Trey Deshawn belted him down.
I don't mind an offense being one-dimensional if that dimension is Malcolm Perry. I'm not exactly sure what that evaluation meant, but I think the main thing is that they discovered that they were just trying to plug Malcolm Perry into the wrong approach. Too much physical running inside, not enough electricity outside.
Perry on the option, got to the edge, belted down hard. Wayne Jones, the full head of steam, and Kyle Ball got there. Short game.
And just watch the speed and athleticism coming from the inside out by Kansas State. That's how you have to defend Malcolm Perry. That half a hole behind concept is you chase the quarterback from the inside outside, and then speed has to kind of feather out the play, and then you swallow up the quarterback.
3rd and 7. On the end around, here's Chance Warren with all kinds of real estate. Warren towards the end zone, to the house for 6. Oh, this second half's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, the last time out, it was the Navy special in Philadelphia against Army, and this is that version except without the throw. This time it's just a walk-in by Warren on the reverse. Same concept, one's a run, the other against Army was a pass.
Bijan Nichols on for the point after. In our new score, 10:15 remaining. In our third quarter, 17-10, the Naval Academy out in front of Kansas State. Some trickeration for our first points of our second half as Chance Warren scores his second touchdown of the season. Well, you wonder why we have so many bowl games. This is one of the main reasons that K-State players and coaches at St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital back on Friday, posing for pictures, signing autographs, spending time with patients and their families.
Yeah, it's for moments just like that. I think well said.
So many of these postseason contests giving back to their communities. Malcolm Perry orchestrating another Navy touchdown drive on their first possession of the third quarter. Here comes Malik Knowles with a lot of real estate in front of him. There he goes. Malik Knowles with one man to make. And he can't do it as he stopped at the 40. Kansas State with outstanding field position to start its first drive of the third quarter.
Well, the big special teams play in the first half was delivered by Phillip Brooks, and now Malik Knowles, who's healthier now than he was just a few games ago. And that's one source of speed that the Big 12 is going to see in Kansas State's offense next season. It's Malik Knowles, it's Josh Youngblood, and it's Phillip Brooks that's going to be infused into the design of what Kansas State does offensively in 2020.
It will be a first down. The ball moves backwards, and so does the snap. Thompson jumps all over it way back in Kansas State territory at the 35-yard line.
It almost looked like Thompson wasn't ready for the snap, and then when the gun snap is off the frame of the body of the quarterback, that one was high and it was hot, and I don't think Thompson knew it was coming.
So Kelly, after picking up the first down, Kansas State then loses 33 yards on a penalty and a snap that whipped right past Thompson.
How does 2nd and 28 sound to you?
The left side run, Jordan Brown sent out past the 40 by Paul Carruthers, and I'm not sure Skylar Thompson knew the ball was coming when it did.
Yeah, Skylar was definitely looking other places. That right hand going out, I think, was to tell the center that I have more to say to get our offense in the right play, and that's about the time the high hard one came off to the left.
You called the 5 seniors up front for Kansas State a gnarly bunch earlier. That was a gnarly, ill-timed snap right there. 3rd and 24. Thompson with time, now escapes. And he'll have his bags packed. Ball pops out near the 41. And let's see who jumped on it. Kansas State lucky to get the football back. And you talk about a possession that started so promisingly. It ends in catastrophe for the Wildcats.
Defensive coordinator Brian Newberry likes to move pieces before the snap, and you can see this ball comes out late. Diego, I didn't see the number of that defender, but what a disastrous play after converting on 3rd and short, and you end up in 4th and forever.
And that was Diego Fago. He was on the wrong end of that penalty just moments ago, literally. Garrett Wynn calls for the fair catch. Navy takes over after a 44-yard punt. More of the option. And a big gainer for the Academy. Near side run. Close to plus territory. Stopped at midfield. The Navy in business once again as C.J. Williams picks up a gain of 27.
And it's the pitch out on the edge once again. This wasn't the triple option. It's called the load option. There is no dive component to that play. It's Malcolm Perry getting to the edge. Does he keep it or does he pitch it to C.J. Williams in this case?
Scotty Hazelton told us yesterday, it's like the option's following me around. I was up at Wyoming. We would see it with Air Force. And now here in the bowl game at Kansas State, trying to make it a pitch game. They're doing that. Right now, trailed by a touchdown, however. Perry settles in. Carruthers stopped at the 41 by Daniel Green.
And just kind of thinking ahead on this drive, this certainly has the feel of a 4-down territory with Ken Niumatalolo. Behind the sticks, if you can get into 4th and somewhat manageable, Ken Niumatalolo may look to go for it.
Second and 18, time winding down in the 3rd. Perry on the design quarterback run. He's tripped up in the backfield by Khalid Duke.
Khalid Duke did a tremendous job of being disciplined and staying home. Duke is the outside defender to the left side, and you have to be disciplined against Malcolm Perry because he may show up again even though he started the opposite direction from Duke.
Navy won 3 games a year ago. Midshipmen have claimed 10 victories already this year. Looking for number 11 that would tie another school record. Can they get there? Kansas State will have something to say about it. Wildcats trail it by a touchdown. 15 minutes to go in a back-and-forth affair here in Memphis. Don't you go anywhere. The sun beginning to set along the banks of the mighty Mississippi here in Memphis, Tennessee. The AutoZone Liberty Bowl, 1-possession game, 3rd down and 22 to start our 4th quarter. Kelly Stoffer, Lawrence Sisler, Roy Philpott. 15 to go. Malcolm Perry wants to throw it, and he will. Incomplete. Had a man open, underthrew his intended target, and that could have been a big gainer. Instead, it's 4th and a country mile.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Malcolm Perry gets outside the tackle box and just doesn't really get his feet in the proper position to complete this pass. Kansas State had dropped coverage. There was certainly a miscommunication.
Ma Kekow, the intended receiver, as Phillip Brooks drifts back to receive this Navy punt. Very busy afternoon and now evening of college football. That'll filter over into tomorrow on New Year's Day. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 20 for Kansas State. Kansas State takes over. Thompson flings it. Knowles has it. That's a gain of 8 yards on first down. Officially a gain of 9, second and short. And a first down carry stopped at the 37 as we check in again with Lauren.
Yeah, guys, after the last K-State drive, Skylar Thompson hung up the phone, walked over to his offense and said, guys, we've got to go. Guys, we've got to get out and talk to each other. We've got to communicate better. Guys, we've got this. Let's go.
Thompson has become such a better leader this year. The confidence that Chris Kleiman instilled in that young man from the get-go shows up in moments like that.
After Brown picked up 7, 1st and 10 for Kansas State with new life. Backside pressure. Thompson found an alley. Joaquin Gill reels it in plus territory, and the drive continues. How about that toss?
Yeah, the touch on this pass, Bachman was underneath this receiver, and the touch to get it right over the top of the defender. That was a really, really good touch pass, and one of the most difficult passes to make as a quarterback.
It's a gain of 15 yards. Thompson has completed 8 of his last 9 passes after starting 0 for 3. And he'll change the play here. Back to the air. Heaves one deep. Gill's open. Reels it in. It'll be first down and goal, Kansas State. Toasted Kevin Brennan that time, and the Wildcats suddenly in business.
A single high safety and man-to-man all over the board, and Gill gets by Brennan. And the audible, I believe, by Skylar Thompson led to this matchup. You see it. You have a play that you can get to it. If you have the confidence and the keys to the car, you can go ahead and have the freedom to get there. And all of those things happen for Skylar Thompson right there.
Thompson warming up. His senior running back James Gilbert joins him in the backfield on 1st and goal. He'll get the handoff towards the end zone and stop just inside the 1.
And I do believe James Gilbert ends up just a little bit short. It's where a body part is down when the ball, and where the ball is at that point, I think the half-yard line, quarterback sneak time, I believe, for Skylar Thompson once again. That senior-laden offensive line needs to get pad levels low and get a push.
All 5 starters playing their final game here tonight up front. Thompson straight ahead. And through a mass of humanity, I'm not sure if he got there. No signal yet. And now here it is. Touchdown, Kansas State.
Jackson Pittman, the nose guard at 300 pounds, made this very difficult. It didn't seem like there was a whole lot of movement up front. The replay booth, without a question, has taken a further look at this. But the push by Gilbert at the end, which is legal at this point in time, and I'm not exactly sure, it will be difficult once again to reverse something you can't see.
Blake Lynch on for the all-important point after. We're tied at 17 with 5:14 to go. Skylar Thompson, the junior from Independence, Missouri. And we've got some work left to be done here at the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. Tied at 17. Kelly Stoffer, Roy Philpott, and Lauren Sisler as Navy will take over at a 25-yard line. And we head back down and check in with Lauren right now.
Yeah, guys, I'll tell you what, Skylar Thompson was rather quiet in the first half of this football game, but he has come alive. He came over to the offensive bench and said, guys, we've got to score again. We have to reset. We've worked too hard for this. I've got you. Let's go.
Yeah, Lauren, remember how this season unfolded. When conference play started, Kansas State lost their first 2 games to Oklahoma State and then Baylor. And it was Skylar Thompson that stood in front of the team before the TCU game and said, you guys can count on me to get it done. And it continues on in this game right now.
Indeed. Inside give. Stop at the line. Trey Deshawn, the tackle of Jamel Carruthers.
Not only did Kansas State beat TCU the next day after Thompson's speech to the team, but they went on then to upset Oklahoma the following week. And that young man's career has changed with the arrival of Chris Kleiman.
On second down, late pitch far side. It'll be third and manageable. C.J. Williams, his second carry of the night. He was stopped by McPherson.
A lot of play management at the line of scrimmage by Malcolm Perry right there, and ultimately it ended up in a true triple option to the left side, and Kansas State defensively has typically defended that triple option really well in this game. This has to be Malcolm Perry time, right?
On 3rd and 3, game on the line. You would have to think so. Straight ahead, Carruthers needed to get to the 35, and he just made it. Daquan Patton stopped him, but that'll move the sticks.
And that fullback position is somewhat of a temperature taker. You go ahead and run the fullback, certainly in a short yardage situation, but it also takes the temperature of the defense to make sure the defense is still defending that fullback dive.
Perry rips it out, keeps it, spins his way ahead for a gain of 9, maybe 10. Patton stopped him again. And Scotty Hazelton trying to figure out a way to get his offense back on the field as the defensive play caller for the Wildcats. Easier said than done. Three-man front for K-State. And Carruthers stuffed at the line. I don't think he got there. Daniel Green certainly did. And it should bring up 3rd down.
Well, if ever you designed an offense to be efficient in 3rd and really short, it's Navy's offense in this option concept with an electric quarterback in Perry.
No receivers in this formation. 11 in the box for Kansas State. They need a stop here. Can they get it? They cannot. Malcolm Perry scoots ahead for a gain of 2, maybe 3.
It's so difficult for a defense when Malcolm Perry starts to work along the line of scrimmage. At any point there, knowing the line to gain, he can just plant his left foot and get upfield, and that's what he does to extend this drive for Navy.
Less than 2 minutes to go here at the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. Perry wants to throw it. Here comes the pressure. Perry escapes back to the line and no more. Daquan Patton active in this 4th quarter, brought him down to the turf. And the senior from Cedar Park, Texas, having himself quite a final game. Perry on 2nd down. Tripped up into plus territory. Stopped at the 46. Deshawn and Goolsby stopped him after a gain of 7. .55 seconds remaining. Carruthers straight ahead on 3rd down. And no running room that time. Patton and Hubert stopped him dead in his tracks. It'll be 4th down. And Kidney Batalolo says it right there. Let's go for it.
Yeah, let's go for it, and maybe even let the clock run to some extent. If you don't get it, at least there are less seconds for Skylar Thompson to work with.
On a trick play, running wide open, his chance, Warren, brought down at the 5-yard line. It'll be first down and goal. Talking about digging deep into the playbook, he did it that time for a gain of 41.
Navy special all over again. The pitch and the eventual pass off of that pitch.
Less than 20 seconds remaining. Navy out of timeouts. Perry's going to have to quickly spike it to set up a game-winning field goal attempt, and he will.
That was almost disastrous because it looked to me like there was some indecision by Malcolm Perry of whether they had a timeout or not, and then Ken Niumatalolo was literally running down the sideline to let them know that you have to get up and kill it
Please start
now.
the play clock.
Well, what a play call and a clutch moment here at the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. It'll set up Bijan Nichols. 1 for 2 tonight. A freshman from Texas. Bijan Nichols, kick on the way. Navy grabs the lead as time expires at the Liberty Bowl.
There might be a couple of seconds to get put back on this clock. It looks like the officials are trying to keep both teams on the sideline. And Nichols just drives this right down Broadway. That was true from the beginning.
2 seconds will be put back on the clock. Ken Niumatalolo could barely watch, and in fact he couldn't.
Yeah, the true freshman meets redemption. That's always a good thing.
Two seconds remaining. And this one will roll out of bounds. So the clock will stay with the 2 ticks of the clock left on it. And now Kansas State will have an opportunity to try to heave one deep.
Well, the theme will be the
Free kick out
same.
of bounds. Kicking team. 5-yard. Excuse me. The ball we spotted at the 35-yard line.
So
first down.
35-yard line. Skylar Thompson doesn't have the arm strength to throw this into the end zone as a prototypical Hail Mary. So you will see some version of some laterals or Skylar Thompson running around trying to give his guys time to get down the field.
Navy's deepest defender back at the 20-yard line. And the crosser shoveled down to the turf. And that's going to do it. From 3-10 to 11-2. Navy defeats Kansas State in the AutoZone Liberty Bowl 20-17. What a performance by Malcolm Perry. 213 yards on the ground, 57 more through the air as we take a look at today's Capital One player of the game. And you know it's going to go to number 10, Kelly.
Yeah, fittingly so. And we talked about Malcolm Perry at the top and in the middle, and then at the end it was going to be Malcolm Perry time, and that's exactly what we've seen. And when that young man committed to the quarterback position, it's been lights out literally every since.
Ken Niumatalolo told us this week this has been his most satisfying season as a head coach. 10 victories, now 11 after this evening. How sweet it is. A grandfather, now completing his 12th season in Annapolis. What a brand he has built, and redemption in 2019 after what occurred a year ago. Lauren Sisler has Ken Niumatalolo right now.
Coach, an emotional win for you guys. 3-10 a season ago, and now you come out here, 11 wins this season, and the winners now of the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. What does this win mean to you guys?
Just everything for our seniors. Really happy for them. Great kids. They're going to go out and serve our country now, but couldn't be more happy for them. Just happy for our seniors.
One of those seniors, Malcolm Perry, describe his performance tonight.
Oh, he's such a tough kid. Don't be confused by his size. He's as tough as they get.
You said in January this was going to be a very special football team. Now, after it's all said and done, how special is this football team?
It's hard to explain. I'm just really happy for them, all the hard work, everything that they've done. You know, I'm just happy for our seniors.
Thank you so much, Coach.
Thank you.
One of the great traditions in college football, the singing of the Navy alma mater, and the invitation of the opposing team as well in Kansas State. Let the celebration begin here in Memphis as we throw it down to Lauren Sisler.
Guys, first of all, congratulations to each and every single one of you guys for a great performance tonight. A season ago, you guys were at home, a 3-10 season. Now, woo, here we go, baby. 11-win season for you guys, the winners of the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. Going home winners today. The emotion is real. And tonight, presenting the trophy, the Executive Director, Steve Earhart of the AutoZone Liberty Bowl, as well as Bill Giles, the President of the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. Steve, a few words?
Thank you very much. First of all, thank you to Kansas State, to your fans, your team, and thank you for coming to Memphis and a great season and a great game today. Thank you. And to the Navy Nation, congratulations to you. This is the iconic Liberty Bell trophy. Bill Giles, if you'd present it to the team, to the coach, to the Secretary of the Navy, the Superintendent, Chet Gladchuck, ring that bell.
All right. As our MVP here, Malcolm Perry, hoist the trophy. Malcolm, we'll start with you. A record performance today, 213 yards. You set a single season rushing record for quarterbacks. What does this win mean to you as you go out in your senior season?
It means the world. You know, just the way the team turned around last season, didn't let last season affect this one. Just super proud of the whole team, the staff, and everybody coming out and having a great season this year.
I remember at one point you said you didn't want to be a quarterback. You wanted to be a running back. You wanted to be an A-back. After tonight, are you happy you're a quarterback?
Extremely happy. I've been happy all season, so just happy for the team, happy to get the win tonight.
What can you say about all of these young men standing here next to you as they hoist the trophy after winning this bowl game?
I think if you just look, it says it for itself. We had a group of selfless guys who laid it out on the line tonight, and I couldn't be more proud for them. So,
thank you so much, Malcolm. Your MVP tonight. Coach, let me step over here. Coach, I said this before, you were 3-10 a season ago at home, not enjoying a bowl game, and now here you are, game tying or 11 wins this season. What does this win mean for you and this football team and the Naval Academy?
Like I said, I'm super happy for our team, our seniors, our entire class. They worked hard since January. We have some new coaches that have come and really helped us, especially on defense, starting with Coach Newberry and all of others coaches. But it was a great team win. just looking at the defense played really, really well, and we found a way to win at the end. Just really happy. I'm just rambling right now, but I'm happy for our team.
Hey, bring the ramble on. We love it. When you evaluate your defensive performance and what you guys were able to accomplish this year with all the changes on defense, what can you say about the decision to change up coaches and obviously bring in a different scheme and be able to perform the way that you guys did?
That our country's in good hands. We got tough kids, resilient. I mean, you can throw anything at them. These are some tough young men right here.
What can you say about the senior class and the guys that will go out of here and serve our country?
Like I said, I couldn't be more proud of them and just happy for them that, you know, they paved the way for the rest of our team. And like I said, I'm saying the same thing over and over, but happy for our seniors.
Thank you so much, Coach. And I want to thank each and every single one of you for your service to our country. Wishing you guys all the best of luck. And God bless all of you guys. I'll send it back up to the booth.
Malcolm Perry joining the likes of Lamar Jackson, Jordan Lynch at the quarterback position. He'll end his final season in Annapolis with over 2,000 rushing yards during that senior campaign. What an effort, what a performance, what a bounce-back season for the Academy. They end their year at 11-2. Tying the mark for victories in a single year. For Kelly Stopper, Lauren Sisler, I'm Roy Philpott telling you good night and Happy New Year from the AutoZone Liberty Bowl, where the Naval Academy ends up being the big winner.